I'm Melissa, and I'm part of the bag system. I just made a video for technically my main channel, because this would be our channel, the bag system, but my main channel, Melissa, I just made a video about trauma anniversaries and coping with them, or reactions we might get and how we can cope with those. It's hopefully, as I was very cautious, trigger-free. So if you want to see that, I'll be putting the link in the description. So I want to bring that up. I brought that up because I want to kind of bring another side of it here on this channel to do with multiplicity regarding a trauma anniversary or remembering things in general, and how we can have varied reactions, and it can kind of feel like a Mod Podge, and like you don't know where you're at. Not necessarily not where you're at like physically, which maybe yeah sometimes, but it kind of feels like you're being twisted in all kinds of emotional directions that really don't make sense according to your own feelings, because they're someone else's feelings. So we were very switchy last week. We went to therapy, and actually it was 2 weeks ago. We went to therapy, and I think that we were possibly a little bit too switchy. So it was suggested that the next sessions be done over Zoom to see if we could be a little bit more grounded and actually have a conversation rather than switch, and actually get something constructive in. But for the next session, we're going to be going in person and figuring out grounding techniques, just we're not going through the same trauma-versary, so it could be different this time. So yeah, I guess it's a little complicated because we feel differently about what happened on this particular event. So once again, for this video, I will try very much not to be triggering in indicating any kind of action or description. So we feel differently about what it meant. Like, some of us talk about how, I would say like they were born that day, not like split created that day, but that they were kind of brought more to the surface. Like, this new trauma made it so that a whole slew of old ones a slew of old ones was kind of brought up, and so were they. So they see it as the room where this happened was the room where they were kind of born, and they see it as kind of like an awakening. And that's how I found out about them afterwards. So I'm not sure if they necessarily, I don't think that means that they think that it was a good thing that the trauma happened. I don't think that's what it means. I think that they see significance in like what it brought out, kind of like a birthday almost, for like, or like I don't know exactly how to describe that, but we haven't been dissociating as much. Well, technically we have been dissociating this week, but not like switching like last week. Last week was a lot of switches, and I'm struggling with a fresh denial mode, or maybe I like to just call it realizing that it was bullshit, because like I am overwhelmed, and so overwhelmed with too many surprises and things that I didn't know. a lot. I still don't know a lot, and it's freaking me out. So I'd really rather believe it doesn't really exist. So I think I'm kind of practically begging my psychologist to diagnose me with psychosis, and she's like, she was pretty much repetitively saying that it wasn't and that it was DID. And then when I was very emotional and said, can it please just be psychosis? And she says, you know what, for today, it can be. And I really needed that. And she just looked less blurry. Like I was more focused, and I was less panicked. And I thought, you know what, no one wants psychosis, but when you have DID and your face was like, I mean, I'm not going to say one is better than the other, but like for me, I'd rather just think that this is like my confused head or something than that there is actually like parts in my head that are separate to me, conversing, experiencing. It's frightening. So, and the more it goes on, the more that, anyways, we're moving away from the topic, but like, I've been ignoring them, so we're less switchy this week. So the chances that we switch in this video are pretty minimal. But I know what they were thinking and feeling. It was really, it feels like we've been hit with one reminder after another of the past. And it's been a real whirlwind, because the way that I take it and the way that they take it, it makes it so much bigger than if there was just one of us taking it, like one of us feeling one way instead of feeling like multiple ways. And like it feels overwhelming. And yeah. So we're dealing with a lot of not even just this trauma anniversary, but a lot of other things that have come up and that we need to talk about in therapy. So I think my system, or we are kind of, I'm not sure what to call it exactly, but like at a standstill at the moment, because it feels like there's no, like, I mean, I feel weird, but like dissociated, but not really switchy. So it's been quiet in the headspace, which is unusual considering lately. Anyways, if you're going through a trauma anniversary, or you're going through trauma in general, like, or remembering, like having recall, if you want to know how to cope with it, maybe you already know, people give great tips sometimes. I just tried to do what I could on my Idranktheseawater channel, so go check that out if you would like a few tips on, or maybe a bit of encouragement.